Hey everybody, it's Brooke Santina, the PIO for the Department of Corrections for the state of Nevada. Today we have a treat for you. This is Glenn Wharton. He is the president of the Nevada State Prison Preservation Society. Today we're going to visit the execution chamber, so come with us.
Well, this is the cell house entrance to the execution chamber, and it leads up to the third floor of the north wing. And this was actually constructed in about 1948-49. Prior to that, executions were held in a small building that was built at the end of A block before the 1948 construction of B block. And we have obviously a non-compliant
So this is B block.
ADA staircase.
Oh wow!
That leads up to
Not compliant.
And actually that was one of the issues about the continued use of this area, is that it's not ADA compliant.
Right, because family members and victims' families, etc., need to be able to come up here if there's an execution.
That's right.
All right, so.
We have to kind of wind our way around it here. And
All right, here we are.
this is actually the viewing room, and this is where the invited official witnesses would stand, and also the media. We usually had about 6 official witnesses, and usually about 6 or 7 media members.
Mm-hmm.
We also had a couple of staff members in here as guides and kind of look out for folks. Originally, this was designed and used as a gas chamber.
I believe we had the first gas chamber in the United States, correct?
We did, that was 1921.
Uh-huh.
We did that, but that execution originally took place when they finally were able to get it done. It actually took place in the butcher shop that was located out in the yard.
Wow.
They had to seal the windows. But this had 2 steel double chairs. You can see the ventilator in there that was used to evacuate the gas after the execution.
Yep, on the ceiling, okay.
And the last execution that took place using gas was the late 70s. And after that, well, at that point in time, there had been such a long period of time between the Supreme Court invalidating executions and then reinstating them, that the seal around the door appeared to be somewhat compromised, and they had to use Vaseline to make sure that it didn't seal. And of course, that made folks a little nervous.
Sure.
The director at the time was Chuck Wolf, and so he managed to get a bill draft introduced that changed the method of execution to lethal injection, and of course, that's what we have in place today.
Right.
The last execution to take place was here in 2006, so it's been quite a while.
Right, right. It was 2006. We now have a new execution chamber built out at Ely. So if in the future we do have any executions, that's where it'll take place. So this is now part of the museum, I guess.
Well, hopefully in the future.
Maybe someday. So we're gonna look at this room from here, and then we'll go in and actually look at the table and talk about that. So there is this amazing submarine door. Let's see the sub door. This is super cool. You just don't see stuff like this every day. There we go. So that's where they had to do the Vaseline to make sure that it was closed.
Yeah, right along here.
Wow. So let's go in here and look at these seat belts. Kind of interesting.
Kind of a makeshift sort of arrangement.
But they are GM seat belts, aren't they?
I don't think GM.
Well, maybe not. Maybe they're
They're being used for that, but
that's what they are. Definitely seat belts.
obviously, if you look at the areas where they do this now, it's a little more sophisticated.
Holding this, I can't necessarily close that, but so these would then have locks on them, right? These are for the feet.
Right. And there would be.
There would be a lock.
You know, at that point, in the executions that we used here, there was some legislation passed to allow victim families. Sometimes they would be out here, sometimes they'd be on the other side of this
The mirror part there?
yeah, this one-way mirror.
Sure.
And then the actual individuals that conducted the execution would be on the other side.
So these are the wrists, and again, they would pop over, this would close, and then there's a specific key that opens these. These are still used some places. We had those where I used to work as soft restraints for people that had to go to court.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not, I mean, it's old certainly, and the style is different. What's underneath here now? Let me look. So this is an old bed, like a table, that they put wood on and actually made into a bed. It's like an old medical style table, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then this pillow is this the actual pillow somebody laid on? Do you think?
Yeah.
Wow, that's kind of weird. So people, I guess it's a big deal to want to get up here and we've heard stories of hazings type of things where people, when they were new officers, would be, see if they wanted to get on the bed and be tied down or not.
Yeah, they did it, some of the gallows humor.
Yes.
But
So-
it's, it's, a lot of people argue whether it's viable or moral or whatever, but it's part of our history.
It's our history, and that's the
And,
point, is that we're trying to just show you guys, everybody who's watching this, that we have an interesting history, and we have a whole lot more to NDOC than people realize.
Yeah, and when you actually look at the issue of the death penalty, even in Nevada, it's been controversial way back into the early part of the last century, where staff would resign so they wouldn't have to be involved in executions. The use of Nevada State Prison for executions really didn't start until 1905. Prior to that, it was the responsibility of the county sheriffs to perform the executions in the county seat. So,
Wow.
Back in the 1800s, and surprisingly, in Nevada, there were not that many executions by hanging. If you look in the history, about the most I've been able to find is about 20.
Wow.
So it really wasn't that.
So as I step over this, just to show them the floor here, and this is just, it's so interesting. You have to step out of it like you are getting out of a submarine. So these were the cells right across here that people would stay in before they were
They
executed.
were called the last night cells.
The last night cells. So we'll come over here for just a minute. So there's two of them. Was there ever two people up here at one time?
Yes, yeah, there's been a couple of double executions, but almost invariably we bring an individual up here several days before the execution. An officer would be stationed outside the cell 24 hours a day.
Right.
The inmate was allowed making phone calls and having visits if they wanted. They had open access to a phone.
That is actually still the situation, even with our new execution chamber. Inmates there is a specific cell for the last few days. Look at the windows, that's interesting too. They have like blinds on them to keep it, and they're so guarded. What is this? I mean, this is above. I guess there's a staircase down there, so that makes sense. I was wondering why you would need such a strong grate over that window, but I guess the inmates could try to feasibly get
I
out of there.
suspect that typical of most things around corrections, that was a make work, use what you've got field expedient sort of project.
Yeah.
So they probably had that laying around, so they just used it.
Can we go into the back where they did the actual injection? Okay, here we go. So this
Very
is,
sterile.
so this is where they did the actual
This is-
mixing up of the medications or the drugs that they used. And this is where they had the phones that if the governor changed his mind and wanted to give him a stay of execution,
No,
or was
phone
that out there?
Phone was out here.
Okay, so this is just the medical stuff that was done in here,
That's
right?
right. And
Okay.
you can see up above, you can see the valves for the vents when it was a gas chamber.
Wow. That one, that says fresh air on it. That's pretty amazing. here's the fresh air, everyone. So this has the holes in it down here, which were done when we switched the law to lethal injection only, and it was no more gas.
Right, that's for the drain.
Right, okay, so, all right, I think we've seen almost everything that's in here. Anything left over in here? No. I want to go through the drawers, I want to check everything. I don't want to miss anything for everybody so they can see this stuff. It's very interesting. Okay. All right, off we go. Where shall we head now?
We can go right next door and look at the old psych unit, the old women's prison.
Okay.
Go right through here.
I'm gonna follow you. Hang on a minute. You lead.
Now this was originally designed as housing for female prisoners, so
Okay.
It was a separate unit from the rest of the institution. They had their own indoor exercise area up here. But we built our first women's unit, actually a separate unit, in the early 1960s, which is now the Warm Springs Correctional Center. This became the psychiatric unit for the institution at that point. When I came to work here, we had people in here who were called mental cases in custody. In other words, they had not been convicted of a crime.
Oh, they just didn't have anywhere else to house them.
Yeah, they were fearful of housing them up at the Institute in Sparks. But immediately, about 1975, I think it was, 74 or 75, Judge Thompson, federal judge up in Reno, heard a lawsuit regarding this and was appalled. The fact that we were housing psychiatric patients, profoundly mentally ill people, immediately adjacent to the execution chamber. And he had an order that people who had not been convicted of a crime were to be removed from the prison before sundown.
Wow.
And that literally happened. They went up to, they were taken that day up to the Mental Health Institute in Sparks.
Wow.
And actually, ultimately, this became housing for federal prisoners. We had a contract to keep individuals here for the U.S. Marshal.
Okay, I'm gonna walk down here. Here's, just to give people an idea, if you're in there, look at the walls. They still have writing on them. Free your mind.
The church shall set you free.
Yeah, some interesting writings. There's a Jesus made out of toothpaste up there. Can you see that? I don't know if I can show that or not, but it's worth a try. Kind of an interesting. Wow, look at this. They've done all kinds of writing up in here.
Yeah, this is kind of an interesting configuration because all the walls are steel.
Right.
So
They do look different. They don't have that cement block look.
You don't have that heavy concrete
Right.
construction.
Right, okay. And these are all shut, which is interesting. Is this part of anything you're doing for the museum? Or
No, we didn't talk about accessing this area in particular. We might.
So see, here these are open. So here's another gigantic steel. Here's the shower back in the day. So non-compliant. Nowadays, this would never swing. Very interesting. What a sound. Oh, you opened them. Oh, here they go.
It's all mechanical. See all the gears, axles and stuff above the cell doors.
So you can shut those loud or quietly, right? Or do they just shut quietly?
No.
Oh, you have no control?
They're gonna make substantial noise.
Oh, that was quiet. So here's how they open. That's pretty neat. Wow.
This is old prison.
This is seriously archival stuff.
And you can open individual ones by engaging or disengaging.
Okay.
So
Wow, very cool. All right, we're gonna turn this one off and start another one. Where are we going now? Somewhere else in NSP.